This is Solo P1, and this is just basically me doing a video talking about predictions, practice 1 and 2. Should we just call it practice, because we didn't really get a practice 1? So before I get into this practice session, I just want to address the elephant in the room, and that is Sky Sport, especially Karun. Now, Karun is an F1 journalist. He used to be a he had 3 or 4 races in Formula 1. We never won a race. And this guy comes on TV week in and week out whenever there's a Grand Prix on the TV. This guy comes on the TV and is constantly slagging Lewis Hamilton off, slagging Mercedes off constantly. And the thing about it, yeah, I remember a couple of years ago they had Paul di Resta. Everybody, if you know about Formula 1, you know who Paul di Resta is. Let me just put this mic up. You know who Paul di Resta is? Paul di Resta is a idiot. That's all I can really describe him. Failed Formula 1 driver. Failed. But this is the guy, he used to come on TV week in, week out, slag off Mercedes, slag off Hamilton. Always had an agenda against Lewis. Don't know why. Is it jealousy? Probably. But now, Formula 1 got rid of him. They said his contract run out, but his contract never run out, basically. He was due for a renewal. They was going to give him a renewal. But because of all the backlash on social media, always basically hashtagging him and saying, Paul di Resta out. We don't want him in Formula 1. He's just biased. He hates Lewis, doesn't like Mercedes. And when he was on TV, that's how it come across. And it was. I'd done hundreds of videos, over 100 videos on this idiot talking about Paul di Resta during my review videos, during my qualifying videos. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this since 2017, covering Formula 1. And it's only recently I started to do football late last year. But that's another story for another time. Paul di Resta was a cretin. Very simple. Now, they got rid of him for Formula 1 late last year. They never renewed his contract. And now we've had Karun. Karun's been with Formula 1 a couple of years. But when he first come onto the scene, he was kind of quiet. Didn't really talk that much. Bit of a yes man. You could see he was one of those guys. When you start a new job, you come in, you want to learn from the best. You want to know your way around a new job. That was Karun. He was on the back bench. But soon as last year, when Paul di Resta left, he kind of started to step up a little bit. We always knew that he was more a Red Bull fan, because he's got friends in Red Bull. Whatever, man. That's your prerogative. That's up to you. If you want to support Red Bull, that's up to you. I don't care. But now, this guy, as soon as he had a little break, he came back at the beginning of 2023. He had a bit of a break from Formula 1. He was having family. He was having holiday with his kids and his wife. Fair enough. Guy works hard. Got nothing against that. Hard work always pays off. But this guy, as soon as he's come back, he's basically slagging off Lewis Hamilton, but he's trying to do it in a clever way. Constantly slagging off Lewis Hamilton's achievements. Constantly slagging off Mercedes' achievements. It's like Mercedes has never won nothing, the way he speaks. All he talks about is Red Bull. Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull. That's his team, I understand. But when Lewis Hamilton's getting the fastest laps in practice 1, not in practice 2, he goes, oh, that was lucky. That was because he was in dirty air. How can you get the fastest lap if you're in dirty air? If you're in dirty air, that means that's going to stop you from getting fastest lap. But he dismisses all Lewis Hamilton's achievements, Mercedes' achievements. When Lewis Hamilton got second in Spain 2 weeks ago, George, it was Mercedes 2 and 3. He wasn't at that Grand Prix, but he addressed that Grand Prix today, saying, "Oh, that was lucky. It's more about Red Bull just basically just taking the foot off the pedal." It doesn't even make sense when he talks. This is the thing about Carew. And he's constantly talking about Lewis Hamilton, talking him down. Lewis Hamilton is an 8-time world champion. 8-time world champion. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if someone's going to come onto my channel in the comment section or on Twitter and say, "No, you're wrong. He didn't win in Abu Dhabi." Yes, he did win in Abu Dhabi. They robbed him, but he still won. Christian Horner said a few months after it happened, he said, "Don't worry about it. When it comes a couple more years, nobody's going to care about that Abu Dhabi incident." Wrong. Wrong. You got celebrities, even yesterday, Gareth Bale, footballer. Used to play for Real Madrid, used to play for Tottenham. Football legend. He came out and he said yesterday, only yesterday, that he does not watch Formula One anymore. He does not watch Formula One anymore because of what happened at Abu Dhabi 2021. Very simple. Very simple. And this is Chris. And then what happened? Hashtag on Twitter. Lewis got robbed. Abu Dhabi scandal. It's never going to go away until Formula One right the wrong. And ever since then, Formula One has never been the same. Over 60% of their audience are Lewis Hamilton fans, probably more. If you look on social media, look at all the Formula One drivers combined on Instagram or Twitter. Lewis has got more followers than all the Formula One drivers put together. He's got the biggest fan base, but Sky Sports F1 always try to dismiss it. And you could hear the voices from the commentators from the beginning of this season, what they're like. You can hear it in the voice that they're trying to dismiss his achievements. They're trying to brush him away and make Max Verstappen their martyr. 1 and 2, they're never going to learn. They're never going to learn. This is why their sport has got no credibility whatsoever. Zero credibility. Zero. And you can see it now. They're in their little bubble and they just don't get it. They don't get it. Now, practice 1, as I said, there weren't no practice 1. You had the beginning of practice 1. But actually, before we get into practice 1, the commentators today have been talking about Aston Martin. Okay, this is practice 1 now. At the beginning of practice 1, they've been talking about Aston Martin. Aston Martin has brought their upgrade. It's the biggest upgrade they have brought this season. The biggest upgrade. And good for Aston Martin. I like Alonso. There's a lot of people around in the Formula One community. If you like Alonso, you can't like Hamilton. If you like Hamilton, you can't like Alonso. Wrong. I like both. I like Alonso and I like Lewis. There you go. There you go. Very simple. You can do that. You don't have to follow the gravy train. Okay? You don't have to follow the gravy train. You can actually think for yourself. Because if you think for yourself, you might get more done and stop following other people. Now, Aston Martin brought their biggest upgrade this season. Now, the way Carew was talking about it and the rest of the commentators, yeah, they were saying Aston Martin's going to win this race. Aston Martin are the favourites. Even though Red Bull's got the fastest car, they're still saying, and maybe potential second fastest car, Mercedes, and third fastest car, probably Ferrari, they're still saying Aston Martin. They're saying that Alonso is magical around here. Don't get me wrong, Alonso is good round Canada. But when's the last time he won a race? When's the last time... Look, I know he hasn't had the car underneath him, but when's the last time he won a race, Alonso? Now, they're saying this is a magical track for Alonso. Alonso can't do no wrong. I remember, look, 2012, at the beginning of 2012, Canadian Grand Prix, when Alonso went from third or fourth to first at the beginning in the first corner. That was magical, but that was 2012. Now, I know they won't mention Lewis Hamilton's accomplishments around the Canadian Grand Prix. I don't know why, because he's got the record. Lewis Hamilton has got the joint record with Michael Schumacher for 7 wins around the Canadian Grand Prix. 7 wins. But they're still saying that Alonso is magical around here. Just Alonso. Okay. 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 So practice 1 starts. 2 minutes in. Not even 2 minutes. Actually, 3 minutes in. Drive shaft. Pierre Gasly's car. So you're thinking, okay, drive shaft. They're going to bring out the yellow flag to warn the drivers. Then they'll bring out the red flag. And after they bring out the red flag, then we're going to bring the cars in, and then probably 10 minutes later, they're going to resume the race, the practice. Now, I don't like this rule where if a car breaks down in practice, yeah, and then the cars have to go off, but the time keeps clocking on. I don't like that rule. They should get rid of that rule. I think the time should be paused. If you're only 2-3 minutes in, pause it. Because you got people paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds to watch these practices, and then if there's no racing, they're just sitting there in the seats watching nothing. So they should pause it. That should be a new rule, that if there's an incident on track during practice, pause it. Very simple. Now, the drive shaft goes on Pierre Gasly's car. Pierre Gasly's in the radio and he's saying, let me know what to do. Turn off the car, get out. That's what you're to do. That's what you're supposed to do. Yellow flag came out, Ocon. So he broke down as well. You got Ocon breaking down. So Ocon breaks down and I saw smoke coming from his car. Smoke. There was smoke everywhere coming from his car. So I thought, okay. So we're going to get one of these races, practice sessions. It's going to be stop, start, stop, start. So, okay. So, during practice 1, when I saw Ocon's car started smoking, red flag come out, I said, right, I'm going to go to the toilet, get a number 1 in, go to the kitchen, make myself a nice cup of tea, some Bosch brew, yeah? And then I'm going to come back and resume practice 2. So I've done all that. And then when I came back, what happened? Still no racing. So I was thinking, why is there no racing? Why is there no practice session? Sure, it doesn't take 15 minutes to take the cars off. Okay? It doesn't take 15 minutes. So 15 minutes are going. Okay, so the reason why they didn't start resume with practice 1 is because the cameras were broke. Speed cameras. The action cameras were not working. That's the reason why practice never resumed. So 4 minutes in into the practice 1, 2 cars break down, and then the cameras stop working. There you go. But the time keeps ticking. So during that hour of waiting for the race to resume, the practice session, all we could hear was David Croft, Karun, and Jenson Button, which really, I haven't really got a problem with Jenson Button. Not really. I could take him or leave him. But imagine listening to David Croft and Carew for 1 hour. All David Croft ever does is go, that's all he does. All Carew does is, I hate Mercedes, Red Bull are the best, Max is the best, you can't beat Max, Red Bull, Max, Max, Max! 1 hour. So, that finishes. Practice 2 starts. We get another red flag. So that's 3 red flags so far. This is practice 2. Okay. So again, it's going to be stop and start. Twitter blew up. Hashtag red flag. There you go. Hashtag red flag. That was on Twitter. Okay. So, Hulkenberg's car breaks down. Smokes everywhere. Sands everywhere. You got David Croft and you've got Karun talking about it's going to rain. Since the beginning of this weekend, all we heard is potential rain. Rain, rain, rain. I thought they was going to jump out in the middle of the track and start singing, it's raining, man. Hallelujah, it's raining, man. That's what I thought Karun was going to start doing. Karun and Crafty. I think they actually said about in Ted Kravitz. This is another one guy I do like, Ted Kravitz. I think Crafty was daring him to go out into the middle of the track and start standing in the puddles. I don't know why he said that, but he did. But Ted Kravitz is clever. He never took the bait. And I like Ted Kravitz because he's the only one with a personality. So we've had a red flag. And then Ocon again. Here we go. Gearbox. So Ocon broke down in, I think it was practice 1. And then he breaks down in practice 2, gear problems, red flag again. So I think we got 2 red flags in practice 2. So altogether, 4 red flags, 4 red flags. Again, they continue to talk about Alonso. They kept talking about Alonso being a special track round here. It's a special place for him. But again, still not mentioning Lewis Hamilton's 7 Canadian Grand Prix wins. Not qualifying, wins. I don't even know how many qualifying he's had. But again, they talk and talk and talk. So, toward the end of practice 2, they was all getting the fast laps in. Yeah, I think at the time, I think he had Max Verstappen or Charles at the top of the practice. So I was thinking, okay, Lewis Hamilton's 5th. I think Lewis Hamilton was 5th at the time. George Russell was 7th. I thought, you know what, I'll take it. I'll take that. Practice 2, I'll take Lewis getting 5th, you know. You get into practice 3, you start, you know how Lewis is. At the beginning of the weekend, what does Lewis do at the beginning of the weekend? He starts building up slowly, build and build and build. When he gets to the qualifying, boom, that's Lewis. So I thought, okay, he's got a good car under him. He looks confident. He was happy at the end of practice 1 when he was getting interviewed. He was happy, happy days. And all of a sudden, boom, pole. Not that pole because it's not qualifying, but you got the fastest lap. Commentators, actually, Crafty said one word. Jensen said something, but Karun was mute for 20 seconds. Mute. And then it was second George Russell. So you had 1 and 2 Mercedes. Okay. So 20 seconds after that, 1 and 2 Mercedes, Karun was mute. And soon as he woke up, he said, oh, that wasn't really that good. Red Bull didn't really do anything. Red Bull, they're not really pushing the car. And then he started talking about Spain again. Oh, I remember Spain when they got 2 and 3 Mercedes. Oh, that was lucky. Started talking and talking and talking. I hope this guy gets sacked from Sky. Karun. We got 1 troll out of Sky Sports and Paul di Resta, and they've brought in another Paul di Resta. Paul di Resta 2.0, but I think Karun is worst. He's worse. You know what? Let me tell you something about Karun. You know what Karun does all day long? All Karun does all day long is bench people on Twitter. That's all he does. That's all he does is bench people on Twitter. Bench. Why has he got a Twitter account? If someone disagrees with him respectively, not aggressively, respectively, he still benches them because they're not agreeing to him. They're not agreeing with him. What happened when he was a kid? Was he one of these kids where his dad said to him, you know what, Karun? You listen to me and that's it. My way is the way. My way or the highway. And now he's got older. He thinks he's brave. If anybody doesn't agree with him, he benches them because he can't really do nothing in real life. Let's face it. So what he does on the internet, he just clicks his little button and go benched because it makes him feel better about himself. That's what I think. But that's it, man. That was the practice session. I don't really talk about the practice session really during the weekend. I usually do a flaming tarmac, but I just wanted to do just a special Canadian Grand Prix practice session and talk about it because I really like Canada. And tomorrow, when I do my video tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, there's going to be a practice free tomorrow, which I'll be doing the virtual watch along. Remember to like the button. Remember to like the video, share it, get it out there in the algorithm. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a virtual watch along of the practice 3, and then qualifying same again. And after that, me and Total Hammer, we're going to be talking about the qualifying review, and we'll talk about a bit of practice 3 as well. So that's it, man. This is the end of this Canadian Grand Prix discussion, practice 1 and 2. See you later, guys. Play some tunes before I go. There you go. So this is Solo P1 signing out. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the just hit the like button, man. Share it. There you go. If you like Formula 1. See you later, guys.